of all the fighting back and forth politically, some of it within the Democrat Party alone, and the suffering for Americans. Now the end could finally be in sight for the record-breaking government shutdown. The U.S. Senate passed a funding bill, clearing a crucial House committee vote in the middle of the night as well. So we are moving forward. The House now is set to debate and hold a final vote on the bill later today. Now, remember, Congressman Andy Biggs told me already this week that he would think that that would happen today around 4 p.m. Between 4 and 10, they'll take a test and then a final. Republican Congresswoman with some fiery words on the House floor.
Democrats in the House voted to close the government. Republicans in the Senate voted 14 times to fund the government. Democrats in the Senate voted 14 times to keep it closed. All of the suffering that the American people have been enduring, discussed here tonight, fall only on one party, the Democrats.
Well, a victory for the Trump administration. The U.S. Supreme Court has extended its order to allow limits on food assistance benefits this month. If that bill passes the House, it would go to the president's desk for signature. It would fund the government through January, and then we could see the same battle play out again with maybe a little bit of breathing room for about a month and a half. A new editorial is titled, "A Welcome End to a Pointless Shutdown," and here's part of it. Quote, Democrats accomplished nothing except the infliction of pain on millions of innocent people. Why take the same deal now that they rejected last month? I mean, it was like 2 weeks in they could have done this. The answer is partisan politics. Centrist Democrats did not want to depress turnout by caving on the shutdown before Election Day, November 5th. But now the Democrats secured big victories in Virginia, New Jersey, and in New York City. Some of them felt free to do their jobs and open the government. Mark Meredith is on Capitol Hill. Mark.
Harris, good morning to you. In less than an hour, the House will gavel back into session. It's been eerily quiet here in Washington during the shutdown. Most lawmakers have been out of town and back in their districts. But as you mentioned, the end is in sight. The longest ever American government shutdown is about to end. We heard from Speaker Johnson this morning.
We're very optimistic about the vote tally tonight. We think this is going to happen, and we're sorry that it took this long. We have a very aggressive calendar for the remainder of this year. There'll be some long days and nights here, some long working weeks, but we will get this thing back on track.
Republicans retain a slim majority in the House. They can afford to lose 2 members and still pass the Senate-approved package today. That is, even if all Democrats vote no. Democrats are furious over the decision by some of their Senate colleagues to end this shutdown. They argue the shutdown made sense as they were trying to force a deal on spending more money on Obamacare subsidies, especially with open enrollment underway for 2026.
Health care for people all across this country is on the brink of becoming unaffordable. Working class Americans, everyday Americans, middle class Americans, unable to afford to go see a doctor.
Now, before lawmakers begin voting to end the shutdown, the Speaker will be swearing in a Congresswoman-elect, Adelita Gravala. She won the Arizona 7th in a special election after her father, who held the post, died earlier this year. Democrats have been furious that she hadn't been sworn in until today, so that will be happening. And then we expect more of the Jeffrey Epstein controversy to make its way back up here to Capitol Hill. She's expected to sign on to a discharge position, which would eventually force, in a few weeks, a vote on whether or not to get the Department of Justice to release all of its files on Jeffrey Epstein. It's a story that will continue to bubble up here on Capitol Hill, including some new developments today from the House Oversight Committee. Harris.
Mark, thank you. A New York Post column highlights what this means for the White House. And here's the argument, quote, the collapse of Chuck Schumer's shutdown gambit serves as a humiliating bookend to the longest government closure ever. It also simultaneously highlights one of President Trump's most sweeping and crucial Washington victories. He has turned the tables on them in devastating fashion, with Schumer likely to be dethroned as Senate Minority Leader and Nancy Pelosi, packing her money bags to leave Washington for good. Republican Congresswoman Cammack of the great state of Florida, member of the General Aviation Caucus, right on time with that. I mean, the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, has been telling us, Congresswoman, how the pain will continue even if the government opened right now.
Well, good to see you, Harrison. Absolutely. It's not like this is a light switch that people can turn on and off. You got to remember, we voted 14 times in the Senate to get all of these workers paid, and they basically came to a point where they had to make ends meet. I spoke with some air traffic controllers and TSA agents who were driving Ubers to try to put food on the table for their families. This is absurd. And another reminder as to why, when you are shutting down the government, trying to hold out for more cash for non-citizens and broken programs, and in this case, giving billions of dollars to insurance companies that have logged record profits. I mean, it's a pointless negotiating tactic, and the American people see right through it. So it's going to take a few days for people to get back to work. And quite frankly, as you heard Secretary Duffy lay out, there's a lot of discussions happening around kitchen tables of whether or not people want to even go back. So we have some real things that we've got to do quickly to get things back just to status quo.
Yeah, I mean, can we get to the point where we could just have a filibuster do away with that on just a simple issue of spending? I mean, I know Senator Lankford is looking with that. He sat here with me last week and told me that. Look, what's it going to be like in the House? Because, I mean, that's really where you see the most far left in the Democrats. It's in the House, and they are vocal, and they have expressed such hate toward these 8 senators who voted with Republicans to get this through.
Well, I do find it a little ironic as I walked through the Capitol today that the people who are screaming that folks have been out on vacation for weeks and weeks and weeks, they have newspapers stacked in front of their offices dating back to the week that we adjourned and passed the clean CR out of the House. So it's a lot of theatrics happening up here, very performative. But the one thing that we know to be true is that the radical left, the very progressive radical left, has always been about dependency and control, not a singular policy issue, but dependency and control. And that is grow the size of government so that they can make Americans dependent on the programs, and then they can stay in control. Obamacare is a classic example of this. It's not affordable. And certainly we are not interested in propping up the sick care system that we have in this country. So things are going to be very intense because for once, we're actually seeing Republicans on the offense, which is a nice change, to be honest. And we're going full forward with real reforms, doing the things that the president promised the American people he would do, and putting America first. So it's going to be a pretty tense time, and I look forward to the fight.
Well, look, are Democrats open to reforms? I mean, the only thing I'm seeing that they want on the Affordable Care Act extension is cash.
Well, if you talk to some of, and I dare I say, moderate Democrats, I fear we are losing moderates in Washington, D.C. If you talk to them, they talk as though they want real reform, but their leadership is never going to allow it. You see that in Hakeem Jeffries' comments about Obamacare. They broke the healthcare system in this country, and now they're saying that we are responsible for fixing it, but their way of fixing it is throwing money at it, and never in a million years has it worked, throwing money at a problem and hoping it goes away. So you'll hear a good game out of them, but the real reforms mean that you have to actually break away from the special interests. And that's going to be a very, very painful fight. And I just hope that the Democrats can put their constituents first and really focus on healthcare rather than a sick care system that has really been Obamacare in a nutshell.
Real quickly, an update on the vote timeline for today.
So there will be a swearing in at 4 p.m. of the newest member of the Democratic caucus. And then we are looking at 7 to 8 p.m. for the vote to pass to get the government back open. What we've seen in the past is some stretches of time. Normally, these votes are only supposed to be 15 minutes, but it could go on for hours if people want to play games and withhold votes. And so that could go well into the night. But I feel confident that by midnight tonight, we will have the government back up and operational.
Congresswoman Cammack, always great to have you in focus. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.